Hello everyone, this is Jamerica and I'm so happy you're here with me today. So we have our asparagus today, so that's what the video is going to be on. I am outside because I got tired of messing with the lights in the house. It's just too dark in there and it's not clear enough for you guys. Plus, it's beautiful out here, don't you think? So let's go ahead and plant our asparagus. Let's get to it. So today's video is on asparagus and I planted these about 2 months ago, maybe. They've been in here for a while and they're starting to droop over, and that's because they need to be up potted. So I'm not using pots. What I use is Dixie cups, and I use these over and over again. Some people say, hey Jamerica, why don't you wash them off? Why? So what we're gonna do is let me move some of these plants out of the way. I have so many plants around. I have them down here, over there, behind me. So this is the asparagus. I put some bone meal in here. The chickens are messing with leaves. I put leaves in the coop. So I put some bone meal in here and some blood meal and a little bit of fertilizer. And I'm just gonna move it around. This soil is damp, and these cups, I put holes in the bottom of the cups so it can drain. I'll put about a half a cup of soil in here, and we're gonna turn this on its side. And here is the root structure. Look at that. They are not root bound. I am so happy. So I'm gonna lay these down gently and I'm gonna slowly break them apart. So asparagus, they have strong roots. I should have tied this hair up. They have strong roots because they're perennials. And remember, asparagus is I consider it a root crop because it sends off pups from the root structure. So that's my first asparagus here. Now I'm going to put it in the cup. I'm gonna try to get it centered. It doesn't really matter to me, but I'll try. And I am just gonna put enough soil to cover up to the soil line. And be careful with while planting it. You can snap these things up to the soil line that it was used to when it was over there with the other group. So it has more room to run deeper roots, and it has more room to, spread out. So that's our first asparagus. Cute, isn't it cute? Look at that. That's our first one. Okay, I'm gonna bring it closer so that you can see what I have. The asparagus here, right? And what you do is you look for the roots, right? They're really close together because the seeds are small, so you're not going to necessarily be able to separate them, but I tried. So these plants have strong roots, but you still have to be careful. So I slowly break the soil away from it so I can expose the root structure of these little seedlings. And then when I think I have enough, I just pull. Let's get another cup. Put that down. I fill the cup halfway. Take my little seedling with my cleaner hand and backfill it. Without look at these big sticks, without hurting the seedling. You don't want to disturb this. You want to lessen the chances of it snapping as much as possible. So I'm being careful. Some people say, hey, just put them in there. I don't do that. I've worked to keep these things alive and had them grow for 2 months of my life and been watching them, tending to them like a baby. They're still babies, and I don't want to just give up on them because it's a 2-month-old. You don't do that with your babies, do you? This is my baby. So that's another one down. Let's get another cup. Fill the cup halfway. Take our little asparagus seedlings. See those two? They're really close together, right? So I'm gonna take as much of the soil off as possible. Maybe this is one. So this is how it reproduces. This is one. There are two of them. Wait a minute, let me make sure I'm not telling a fib on you guys. No, they're intertwined. There are two of them that have wrapped up on each other like two lovers in the night. Or is it one? I'm trying to see. This is going to be difficult. It's difficult for me to figure out. Nope, this is one. And there's two stems coming from it, which was quite confusing for me, but that's okay. I figured it out. As long as you expose the roots, you'll know if they're the same. See that? That's one plant, but two flowers are coming out of it. And that's how they multiply their bunching plant. So one asparagus will come up, and from the same root, another one will come up. And next year, asparagus, the big, thick stuff that you buy from the supermarket, that'll start coming up. So I'm gonna hold this up. I'm gonna backfill it with soil and try to get it centered. And gently, you know, hold it up. Gently hold it up. And do it. I mean, some people have luck with just throwing stuff into their cups and the seedling thrives. I'm not too liberal with putting a bunch of soil in there initially. I wait till I get enough soil in there to stabilize the plant, and then, you know, then I start putting little chunks in there. There we go. Don't manhandle your seedlings. Let's go to the next one. Put about half of the soil in here. All right. Get this up. And collect this soil and put it back in your buckets. You could use that. That soil is good. As long as it doesn't have a bunch of roots. You don't want a bunch of roots that are going to rot near your seedling. Move this out of the way. So you take this, right? Now we have a couple more in there. All right. And you break the soil away from the root. You see that? I'm breaking it away. Because I don't want to lose the root structure. There's no sense in me losing any root structure. Now, if they were root bound, it'd be a different story. Then I'd have to do that. But if I can avoid it at all possible, I'm trying to keep as much of the roots in there. Look at that big chunk. Okay, I got one. There's another one. I'm gonna put it down in the cup, right? Let the root touch the soil, and then I'm gonna start backfilling it. Holding the plant up lightly. Don't squeeze the stem. And put the soil around it. Now this is not staying outside. I'm just outside because it's a beautiful day. It's about 60, 65 degrees today. It cooled down a little bit last night. I took a lot of my tropical plants and put them back in the greenhouse because it hit around 42. But I'm taking advantage of the beautiful day. And I suggest you do too. You hear the birds chirping? Birds are singing. Music in the air. There must be a God out there. There we are. Love that song. Brings me peace. Find things that bring you peace. I do not like disturbances or confusion, chaos. It doesn't excite me. I've had enough of that type of excitement in my life. I don't need any more of it. Now I just want peace. See that right there? There's the root. I didn't mean to hold you up like that, boo-boo. Talking to plants, something wrong with that girl. They don't talk back. Neither do dogs. Well, dogs kind of talk back. They got their little attitudes. Plants do too. If you pay attention, they'll let you know something's wrong. And it's so bad that, you know, you can't really figure it out sometimes. So you just do everything possible. I got a tree out there right now that's giving me the business. I went out there and put some fertilizer on it. And I put some blood meal on it. And I put some 9-11 on it. I mean, I'm doing everything trying to get that thing to come back because the flowers fell off. And all the leaves fell off. You could tell when a tree is sick, or when any plant is sick. They'll start drooping, and they just failure to thrive. They do not thrive. They show you if you pay attention. And if you catch it in time, sometimes you can save them. Funny, I have two of those trees, the very same tree, right? And one I bought from one store and one I bought from the other. One is doing very well. The other one is not. It's weird. Well, it's not weird. It may have had, I don't know. I'll just try to keep it alive. So that's our number 2. And you can tell that this one also had 2 stems in it. Do not separate them. So pay attention when you're separating your asparagus. Make sure you pay attention to make sure you're not trying to separate a plant that is twins, conjoined twins, or whatever they call it, because a lot of them are. About 25% are not going to just be one stem. It's going to be more than one stem. So that's why it's important to be careful when you're separating it and when you're taking it apart, when you're exposing the roots. And I just expose the entire root on these plants because the roots are strong on asparagus. So it's not going to just, some plants roots are very weak and very, how can I explain it? Like cotton, how cotton pulls apart, the fibers are very small. And some of them are like hair, where you can see the strands. Some people's hair is very thin, and other people's hair have thick strands. Well, in the comparison with hair, asparagus has thick strands of hair. That's the only way I can explain the root structure. That doesn't mean you could be rough with it though. Untangling it because they were tangled together. So I got another, what I think is two off. We'll see in a minute. Because I don't think it's 2. I think it's one plant with 2 branches on it. Yep, there we go. There's another one. See that? It's only one plant and there's 2 stems on it. Get myself another cup. The only thing about this soil is that it has huge twigs in it. Just not good. It could snap my plant. So I have to be careful. Put too much in there. So I'm taking this, right? And this has a lot of root structure on it. See that? And I'm gonna place it down in here to the height that I want it to be. And then I'm gonna slowly drizzle dirt back in there. Drizzle, drizzle. Not clump, clump. Well, I'm biting my words because there was 2 big old sticks in here. The devil is a liar. You say something and then it happens. That's just the devil right there. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna make a fool out of you, girl. I don't care. All right. Put a little bit more in there. You don't want to bury these things to the point where it exceeds the stem that broke through the initial soil. But you want to get enough soil in there because this soil is going to sink once you water it, the soil is going to sink down a little bit. And I'm pressing down, but I'm not pressing down a lot because I don't want to crush my roots. There we are. Let me get another cup. Start gathering up some of this soil on the bottom. Here we go. All right, so here we are. We're down to our last, what looks like 3 or 4, but might not be. It might be 2. Sure enough. Sure enough, it's 2. Wait a minute. Oh no, somebody lost a root. Oh, this is a seed coming up. Look at that. I'm gonna plant that. That's a seed that hasn't germinated completely yet. I'm gonna put that in a pot. So I'm gonna put this right here, which is 1. This is 1 plant with 2 stems. Be very careful with your asparagus. Don't separate them and think that it's 2 plants and it's only 1 root and two stems. Because that's what's happening with these. Asparagus can have more than 1 stem as a seedling. It's a bunching crop. What can I explain it? How can I explain it? Taro is like that also. It's a tuber, and it just sends off pups. What else does that? What else sends off pups? Let me look around this yard because I'll be able to tell you. You know about what kind of grass is that? St. Augustine? Well, St. Augustine is viney. Pups is when it grows underground and it comes up. A lot of There are some palm trees that do it. Oh, banana bush or banana trees, depending on where you come from. That sends off pups. This is the same thing. And it gets wider and wider and bigger as it grows older. Did I mention to you can't get anything from this thing for the first year? And you can grow it in containers. And it can take it can go through a winter. I think it prefers going through a winter. It goes dormant and then it comes back after winter is over. So you can plant it in a container outside as long as you ain't in Alaska or sub-zero temperatures for like forever. But normally you can plant this in a container outside and it'll come back every year. Bigger and better, stronger, faster. Okay, where'd I put that little thing that was coming up? Okay, let's see here. I see another. It's interesting because look, right there. Let me bring it close to the camera. That's a seed. See that? That's where it came out of. Where'd I put that other one? I don't want to lose that. Let me go ahead and plant this thing because I'm a panic over and over again trying to find it. Where's that? Should I plant I don't know what to do. We'll plant the plant first because I don't want the roots to be exposed too long. So put in about a half of a cup in there. Half a cup of love. Put your plant in there, hold it up a little bit so the roots can spread out a little bit. Make sure I'm not grabbing that. See, I can't find it. There it is. I'm gonna put this in there too. There you go. Why not? And I'm gonna cover it. I got plenty of soil right here that I can cover it with. Trying to get it centered. And I put that seed that was half sprouted in this jar too, so that I don't just have an empty cup. If it comes up, it probably will. It'll come up and I'll just separate it when I'm up potting it. That'll be in maybe a couple of months though. Probably in a couple of months. And you will not believe, just like last year, people are like, oh my God, your asparagus, they're beautiful. Where'd you get them from? From seed. Mary Washington, seed. I don't know about other asparagus, but she produces. And she went through a Texas desert drought here in Texas. It didn't rain for months, and the asparagus made it, and it made it through the freeze in a container and in the ground. I was especially surprised by container because I kept on saying I need to get it in the ground, and I never did. But they're coming up right now. So here we go. Let's do our count of how many we got done. Out of that one little thing, I just spread a bunch of seeds into this little thing, and I put the seeds about maybe a fourth of an inch from the top of the soil. All right. You don't want to just put asparagus seeds directly on top of the soil because the plant will topple over. You need to put a little bit of soil on top of it. So here we are. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, I wish I could leave them outside right now, but I am not going to. You see how the wind is blowing them? It's swaying in the wind. That only makes the stem stronger, and that's part of the hardening off process. Because the more this thing goes back and forth, the more the stem adapts and becomes stronger. But because I just planted this, and I know that these are probably a little upset with me right now, I need to bring them in the house until the roots develop a little bit, and then I'll slowly start introducing it to the outside elements, to the sun and to the wind. You see them moving? You see them? The more they shake, and it's good if you have them in your house, take your little seedlings and shake them a little bit because it makes them stronger. Don't shake them violently, but shake them a little bit so that the stems can become stronger. See how that's weak right now with the wind blowing? The wind is going to make it stronger. It whips it into shape. It's just like a kid when we first go to school. You know, our parents are walking us to school and picking us up, and then they slowly let us, as we age, they slowly let us become more. If you know, some parents never do, but they slowly start giving you more responsibility and more freedom, and that is important. That is the only way you're going to have the plant develop, is to expose it to the elements and let it adjust and become strong and independent. I thank you guys for being with me, and this is the planting of asparagus. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.